into my hands.
You foolish man. I am a Jito Ryo master. Allow me to reunite you with your ancestors.
Unbelievable destructive power.
What's up, everyone? Another Kiyoubinbou here. How you guys doing today? Alright. So, I hope you guys are having a great day and everything else. This is actually a recording, so just to let you guys know everything else. And sorry for a little bit of the background and everything else. A little stuff just happened whatsoever. But let's not hold back or anything else. This is going to get something. We're going to go straight into what I'm going to do today. So this is actually a brand new segment of Noonami. So I hope you guys actually enjoy this. This is going to be my first time doing this. So, I prefer, kind of let me know what's going on. If I did something right, this and wrong, everything else, just kind of give me an idea. So what I'm actually doing is I'm actually going to start doing reviews on animes. And I'm only doing, not saying every single one, just specific ones. And I kind of want to start off with this one first because we're mostly every episode we have usually has up to 5 or 6 episodes in, because every 5 to 6 we get to a point where it's like things are about to get really intense and we never know what happened. But I want to do this one first because we're at the point where things are about to get intense, and it's going to be, I don't know how many episodes this is going to be like that. So let's get into that. So first I'm going to do is I'm going to show you guys a trailer of what the anime is that I'm going to be talking about. And then I will explain it and everything else, like how I feel about it from the first 5 or 6 episodes and different things like that. So this is going to be my first time doing this, everything else. So then this is more like going to be 20 to 30 minutes tops as much as possible. So I'm not going to make this be like my usual Noonami episodes where it's like long with news and everything else. We're just going to go straight in. So let's get into this trailer we're going to talk about first. And then we are going to talk about it. So let's get into it. So I'm not going to say the name. I'll tell you at the end of it. So once you see it. So let's go.
あんたみたいなやつをなんて言うかわかる？キヨビンボーよ。
すでにオルンの代わりの付与術師は見つけている。悪いがそういうことだ。心配するほど腕は鈍っていないのかもしれない。これならまだ剣士でもやっていけそうだな。大丈夫？待って
ください。改めてお礼を言わせてください。あさってからうちのクランで行う共同探索に同行してほしい。
みんなを担当することになったオルンだ。3日間よろしく頼む。
よろしくお願いします。
愛して重なってたび思い出してしまうのにごまかして
りました。マジックアップ。
ソフィアはあいつの動きを止めるんだ。
はい。ファイヤー。しゃべれ。
新人たちは怖いかもしれないが、じっとしていてくれ。絶対に守るから。行くぞ。みんなを守るために必要なのは、目の前の理不尽を跳ねのけること。2026年1月より放送開始。
Alright, so this is what we're going to be talking about. Let me kind of do this here. Alright, let me see if I can work something out here, because I want to try something different, but I might get hit with copyright, but we're going to kind of see how this works out. So kind of bear with me. I'm going to kind of do something here, and I'm hoping I can do this if it'll allow me to do it. Can I warp this around? Okay, maybe not. So again, please bear with me. I'm actually trying to do some stuff here and make this work out. Let's see. Let's see if I can do this before so I can explain this. Can I flip this around? I wonder if I can flip it around. Let me see. How do I flip this? Sorry, I'm trying to figure out how to flip something around. All scenes. Sorry, I'm trying to make something work, and I do apologize. I'm just trying to see if I can make this work the way I want it. Customize. So this, like I said, this is my first time doing this. I'm just kind of like flipping things around. No, I'll just leave it. I'll just not do that. So I'll just close this. I have to play around with it. Yeah, so I was going to kind of do something a little different. I was going to have this bigger and then have it down here in the corner, bottom right-hand corner. So I have to play around with that to make that work. So this, like I said, this is my first time, and I'm going to have to make this go as planned. So let's get some music here, and let's get cracking. Let's do this. Can I use this music? I feel like no. Loud. Let's do that. Okay. I guess that'll work. I'll find more music. Oh, you got any new musics? That's it. I'm playing around with stuff here. Oh, there we go. That worked. Okay, cool. That's a little bit better. Can I have this on repeat? Nope. Well, let me repeat this. All right, so sorry. Again, I'm still playing around with stuff here, and this is my first time, so there's going to be some technical difficulties and everything, so I do apologize. So the anime we are going to be talking about is called, and if I can actually pull it up correctly, because again, I'm not going to try to say the Japanese name, but I will try not say the full name or try to do anything as best as possible. So please don't butcher me, and please don't chop my head off. I do the best of my ability. So the anime is called Yuusha Party, also known as the Jack of all trade Party of None. So this is the anime I have been checking out, and I have been reading the manga. I'm still reading it. I'm super way ahead of the anime whatsoever. But I want to do a review on this of the first 5 episodes that we have, because I think it's Wednesday. Every Wednesday it comes out. So this Wednesday, which will be today's the first, second, third. Out of this recording, we're in February. So this is the 1st of February, 2nd, 3rd, 4th. So the 4th of February, we are getting episode 6. And in episode 6, this is where things get super intense. This is the episode I am waiting for, because I know what happens in this. I read what happens, and this is where things get very, like I said again, intense, where I get to see everything in full force. But anyways, so what is Jack of all trade, Party of none? So pretty much it's as every single, if you have not listened to most or have not checked out most of my episodes of Noonami, I have been talking about certain animes, and the ones I literally have focusing more into are basically more of the isekai stuff. But there's also another set of I think there's like 2 sets. There's 3 sets I have, and they're going to 3 orders. I don't remember the third one is kind of random, but the first two are usually my top favorites. There's Isekai, and I don't know what they should be called. They should be categorized. I don't know what they're actually called, but they're mostly are members, party members or main characters who are kicked out of parties because they're weak and also being overpowered like down the road that people don't realize. So I don't know what that category is. I'm going to find out sooner or later, but that's one of those things. So yeah, so what I like so far of the first 5 episodes. The first 5 episodes are definitely the introductions to start off and everything else, but they're also showing the main character, which I need to find out. I always forget his name. It bothers me sometimes. Orha. I think I'm saying it wrong, so please bear with me. But they usually say a different name. But Aura, so I'm going to say Aura for now, so I do apologize if I butcher the name. So Aura is actually is one of the party members who are with the A-rank party or S-rank party. He was originally he was an enhancer. An enchanter. I'm sorry, let me phrase that. He was an enchanter who basically always buffs the party and debuffs the party. So if you have played any RPGs or role-playing games like Final Fantasy, World of Warcraft, or anything else like that, you will know the difference between buffers and debuffers and different things like that of the ability. So he was more of just not a buffer and debuffer, but he was also he also set traps. He did a lot of stuff, but he was merely a jack of all trades. But at a certain time, they actually had 2 swordsmen, like 2 actual fighters, like front lines. But with him being in the party, he actually had to become an enchanter, but still also know how to use the sword and then to become, fight on the front lines whatsoever. So he knew how to fight, better than anyone else, and also know how to fight and also how to enhance at the exact same time. So he was always learning new things as he goes along whatsoever. So for him to be kicked out of the A-rank party, he ends up walking around, and then he meets this girl, he ends up going to the dungeon. I'm sorry, let me phrase that. He ends up going to the dungeon. He ends up meeting this little girl. I forget her name in my head. So again, please bear with me. I don't remember all the characters' name. I just know by watching it and everything else. He meets this girl who actually was in this dungeon with these group of men who, that she was so determined to go into the dungeon whatsoever. So in that process whatsoever, he ends up finding out from this group of guys that, we left this girl, we didn't really want to, but it was just in a certain situation. So he got mad at them whatsoever, and he's like, all right, screw it. I'm just going to go, and I really didn't want to do this, but I want to go. So he goes there and saves her, and then, basically as he's trying to become stronger and keep saying like, oh, I'm not this strong, and this and that and the third, a lot of things happen. So when he ends up saving her, she was like, oh, let me actually, take you out to dinner, take you out to eat, because the fact of, you saved my life and everything else, which was like the generous thing whatsoever. So he ends up going to his place, and he ends up finding out that this restaurant, was also part of the party called the Silver. Let me see if I remember it's the Silver Rabbit. I can't remember the name of it. Dang it. It bothers me. Let me look at my manga because I keep forgetting the name of it. Sorry. Sorry. I got a text message. Sorry. Sorry, my mother was actually texting me about something, but I'm also trying to find this manga real quick. Because I'm also still in the process of reading it. Because I keep forgetting the name of the party. The Silver what is it called? And it bothers me so much that I can't remember the name of it. Let me go back. Let's go back one chapter. I just can't remember the name of it, and it bothers me because I should be actually memorizing stuff. So again, this is still a trial and error and whatsoever. So I'm just kind of like a little disappointed in myself that I should be remembering names. Silver Rabbit. The Silver Rabbit the Nice Guy. Or sorry, Silver Rabbit the Nice Guy. That is the name of the party. So he ends up going with them, like it was part of the restaurant whatsoever, and then he meets the little girl's sister, who's like, "Oh, like what are you doing with my sister?" Everything else, and it's interesting how it goes from the episode whatsoever, and it's actually interesting. So as the story progresses, the older sister is like, "Hey, oh, you're actually Oran." It's like, you're part of the A-Rate party, whatsoever. It's like, "Oh yeah, I'm the former A-Rate party, whatsoever." So he was like, "Well, I'm not with them anymore. I got kicked out of the party, this and that, because I was weak, whatsoever." But she knows, like, reality, like, no, he's not weak. He's actually more stronger than he thinks. And so she's trying to recruit him to be part of her team, or basically one, her team, and two, be part of the guild, part of the guild. So you see the ordeal whatsoever, and then through the few episodes, you will see him become a teacher for this up and coming ranking party, which is 3 people, which actually has the older sister's little sister. Like I said, I can't remember the names whatsoever, so I do apologize. Actually, I know I could do. I can just do this. Give me characters. Because I'm sick and tired of not seeing the name of the characters, and it bothers me so much. We have go. Oh, Senna. Okay, Senna and Sophie. That's what it was. Okay, sorry. I do apologize. Now I got the names. I was like, I can't remember these names. What's going on? So Sophie is the one gets saved, and Sarah is actually the older sister. So Sarah is actually asked Oren to, hey, why don't you actually teach these up and coming guild members who are like, top stars, to teach them everything in the world's whatsoever. So then they end up, the 3 members that are Sophie, which is the younger sister. Where's the other one? Logan and Caroline. There are the 3. So he's actually teaching them the ropes and everything else. They go into the dungeon, start from the first level, and they go for 3 days, and they go into this dungeon from level 1 to level, I think it's 50 or 51. So as it goes, and then up to this point, they get trained and everything else. They understand how he is, and through these days, they learn from Oren about, how he is and everything else, and they don't know, like, he's really that good in the process, which is actually interesting. So it's one of those interesting situations. So right now, let me see, because we're in episode 5. So episode 4 and episode 5 gets interesting because it sets the stage very well, because episode 4 focused on the previous Oren's A-rank party that he was in, and you understand what happens there. That sets the stage for the next episode to finally go into where we're going to now, as of what's going to be happening next week, or basically happening this Wednesday of this recording. So I'm very happy. What happens is that the A-rank party goes and try to fight another one of these under monsters in the dungeons, or so they're like level 92, and then they're trying to figure out, like, they end up getting a new enchanter. And they're like, okay, this new enchanter does this. But then there's one party member who's like a healer whatsoever. She's like, no, you guys made a bad decision to make this happen. So now that you make this happen, this is now you're going to realize what's going on. So she's been trying to tell him, like, yo, this is the reason why your spells are not working. Your defense is weaker. Your special attack is not as strong because you kicked out this person. The person you kicked out was Oran. And since you put this new enchanter in here, this new enchanter is not used to us, but not only not used to us, is that she's not used to your guys' sets, or basically your, not biting language, but more of like your battle plans. It's like every time she's doing an enchant or whatever, it's like it takes her time, and it's like I'm putting buffs on and everything else, but it's not compensate what's going on. So it's like everything you guys are doing is way too much for the new enchanter. And so when the situation happened, the Black Dragon, the Black Dragon, which is always at the 94 or I think it's like 94 or 96 dungeon level, was at the bottom of the level. So he's there And he comes to the 92nd floor, and they're like, "Oh my god, what the heck? What we're gonna do?" It's like, "No, we're gonna take out." Then they get destroyed by the Black Dragon, and so they're like, "No," like the hero's like, "No, we're going to use the return, get out of here whatsoever." And then the Black Dragon when we use the return, the Black Dragon jumps into the return, and it ends up going to a random floor, and that sets it up. So then they run out and whatsoever, and like, no, we gotta go back to the guild. We need to explain the reason whatsoever, and this is what's going on. So episode 5 explains what happens, why they actually ran in. It's like, oh, the A-rank party, what's going on? It's like, this is an emergency, we need to do, like the hero's telling all things, like, this is an emergency, I need the guild master, this one, and tell the guild master, like, hey, we need to summon every person out of the dungeon because of a really big situation. This is what happens. So sets it up, everything else. And then you go back to Orion, explain the whole thing. They finally get to close to the final floor, get done with their, the training, everything else for the 3 days, and everything is set up. So it ends the episode with the Black Dragon comes through and it's funny, it looks like a rip through time kind of situation, like kind of break through glass, like someone ripped through time or whatever, which is kind of hilarious. Which I kind of like what they did with that, and it's kind of funny, but it's interesting at the same time. So Orion's been having this weird feeling through the 3rd day and couldn't figure out why, and this is the reason why. But at the same time, going back to the A-rank party, it goes back to where they say, how do I explain this? Like, they are saying that the guildmaster's like, no, you're going to have to make up for your mistakes and everything else whatsoever. And so, like, everybody else is like, well, why would you do that whatsoever? It's like, that, like, they try to explain, give reasons to not go back. But the hero's like, yes, we're going back. We're going back to go deal with this situation. But then she says that I asked for one, but I will go back and do this, but I asked for one request and one request only. And so you don't find out the request until before the dragon shows up and after the teleportation whatsoever. So then the healer explains to who is it? Luna, sorry. Luna explains to Oliver, or Oliver asks Luna, like, why would you ask that request from the guildmaster? She's like, because the Silver Rabbit party, the Silver Rabbit guild is in the dungeon. And the reason why we asked for them to stay in the dungeon is because Oran is in there. Oran is in there for that specific reason. We need Oran to deal with the Black Dragon. There's no other way whatsoever. We need him. He is the only one that can actually make everything work out perfectly the way it is. So Oliver is super mad, and he is super mad and pissed the fact that, like, why we kicked them out there. But the thing is, the interesting part about this is that Oran, Oliver, and Luna, which I didn't explain this, they're childhood friends and they wanted to become adventurers. But to have Oliver kicked out Oran because of his weakness, which he was not, and make him change everything else. So that's why Luna has to explain to every single person, like, of the members of the A-rank party, is like, this is the reason why. This is why your attacks are not doing this much damage. This is why your defense is not doing what it's supposed to do. This is why this, and this is why that. So it explains a lot of reasons to why. So that's why it ended with the Black Dragon coming through like a rip through time, which is like breaking through glass, which is hilarious, and I loved it whatsoever. But yeah, so that's that. So as for what's going to happen is, like I said, this next episode is something I'm looking forward to, because this is where Oran will finally shine. He will finally show his true self, his abilities, and whatsoever. But a lot of people are going to be surprised of what he does. So this is where I'm looking forward to, and I think this anime is going to be 12 episodes, and I know how it's going to play. Normally, usually, like I said, around 5 or 6 episodes usually are like the midpoint of where things are going to get really intense, where it's going to be this long battle, and it usually takes up about 2 to 3 episodes tops, at least. So since the first episode is the introduction of this big battle we're going to get, the second episode sets the stage for what's happening next, and the third episode is going to be the conclusion of it. Maybe the fourth, maybe the second. We don't know. I don't know how it's going to play out, how it's going to work out, but I really am looking forward to this because I read it. I know how this fight goes. It gets super intense. The stuff that he does and everything else, what's going on, and like everything kind of builds up, and I love it to this point with him. So I'm looking forward to this episode. This is definitely one of those top things I really want to check out, and I kind of want to do this as my first ever anime review. And I kind of want to do this because this is the one anime that I not only looking forward to, but know that there's a checkpoint where things are about to happen and things get crazy. And I love it. And I love this anime for this part. So I definitely am ready for this next episode. I am going to be glued into this episode more than ever because of what's going to happen and how this goes. So, but yeah. So other than that, guys, this has been a very great episode. So definitely check out the Jack of All Trade Party of None. Definitely is on Crunchyroll, as you saw in the trailer. It's literally on there. So again, we're going to get 12 episodes. That's literally how it's going to play out, and kind of roll with it whatsoever. So I definitely recommend checking this out. So yeah, that's it. That's all I could say there. Definitely look forward to that and definitely check it out. So this is my first time doing a anime review on. Usually a lot of people do anime reviews that's basically are like the full from start to finish of the whole thing, how you feel about it. But I kind of want to do halfway points because of the fact of like there are animes that are again has their checkpoints where it's like it gets very interesting and you want to talk about. So I may do a lot more of these as we go. So this is my first time doing it. And yes, again, this is actually a trial and error kind of situation. So I do apologize for, butchering names and trying to set things up and whatsoever, because this is my first time doing it. And this is me kind of like trying to do something a little different than I used to do for Noonami. So this is one of those things you got to see for yourself and kind of bear. And as I go, again, this is one of the new things I want to do and work out. So I definitely appreciate you guys checking out. Definitely check out any other stuff I have. Definitely still going to my episodes of Noonami, where I talk about all my animes, news, and whatsoever. Like I said, this Friday, during this recording, this Friday, we do have an episode. I had said this on the Vitoverse, so definitely in the right-hand corner, as you can see my little icon for Noonami. In the upper right-hand corner, definitely follow see the latest episode of the Vitoverse, where I do talk about I was going to do this, and also talk about the next episode of Noonami, which is going to be focusing on our episodes, and I forgot the actual full name, but I'm trying to remember by heart. But is our episode animes better than our episodes versus 30-minute episodes? That is the topic we're going to have. So I have Vito to do a bit of a homework. And I hope he has done his homework, because I'm ready to do this topic, and this is actually an interesting one I'm looking forward to. So yeah, so definitely do that. Also, again, I do have another video game recording I'm going to do very soon. I just finally finished doing the characters. Yeah, so I was going to I'll explain more details in a little bit later, as soon as I set up everything for another dojo. So yeah, so definitely stay tuned for that later down the road. I'll see how it plays out and go from there. Until then, guys, I will definitely see you guys. Thank you again, and please like, share, and comment down below. Do you like the idea I'm actually doing something new with this whole idea? Please don't bite my head off or anything else. Like I said, I'm still playing around with stuff, and do understand I'm a father as well, trying to do some stuff whatsoever. So please just kind of be nice to me. Like I said, I'm still learning new things and playing around with stuff, so I do apologize. Till then, guys, I will see you guys next time when I do another review. I haven't figured out what the next one is. I'm just gonna kind of figure it out as it goes. So just stay tuned. I may throw stuff in. They're not planned whatsoever. So just stay tuned for any new anime reviews I do whatsoever. Until then, guys, I will catch you guys in the next one. See ya.